FM, godly energy. You are listening to Hope 103.1 FM Grenada. Hope 103.1 FM.
Christ for the Adonai. For too long, the devil have a way that's been taking things that don't belong to him. For too long, he's been stealing all the joy and the peace that is everlasting. So I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Yes, I take it back. Yes, I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. I take it back. The Prince of Peace shall put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You go to mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. You going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Lord, Father, deal with the authority. Let me make you understand it. The devil is a bandit. Come to steal and destroy everything that he can get. The day that I was conceived, my life became a target. You dirty devil, we fed up on you. Lord, you give me the power. Stand up firm like a tower. Holy Ghost that inside me, wet me down like a shower. Taking back what is mine, taking it back one time. Me armor ready, ready. No, well, I went down to the enemy's camp and I took it back. Yes, I took it back. Well, I went down to the enemy's camp and I took it back. Well, I take it back. The Prince of Peace put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Father, give me the authority. No longer will I be sad. I take back my joy. No longer will I be weak. I take back my strength. No longer will I be broke. I take back my money. No longer will I be better. I take back me honey. But Lord, you give me the power. Stand up firm like a tower. Holy Ghost that inside me wet me down like a shower. Taking back what is mine. Taking it back one time. Me armor ready, ready. Now well I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Well I take it back. Yes, I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Well I take it back. The Prince of Peace shall put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Father, give me the authority. end of it is. Let me see the hands them high. Put your finger in the sky. One God that we magnify, cause he is higher than I. One God and there is one way to go. I'm on the road and I'm about to let the whole world know. So let me see all of the Christians who ready for the revolution. Again, again. Push it up, push it up, push it up, push it up, push it up. And we are stop, we don't stop, and we are stop, we don't stop, we don't stop, we don't stop, and we are stop, we don't stop, and we are
Good evening, everybody. I know y'all haven't heard his voice in a while, but I am here today, and of course it's Palm Saturday with a little bit of difference. It's your girl Disciple D, guys. I know I was out last week and I'm late today because I had a engagement, but nevertheless I am here. And we're going to do what we came here to do, right? We have something a little bit special for y'all today. So we know that it's Palm Saturday. Again, guys, I really miss y'all last week. I wasn't here last week, but God is worthy to be praised. You're listening to Hope 103.1 FM. Gotta get myself in the groove right now. It was a little bit of a rush to get here. Just came from a wonderful session at Agape Ministries. It was a women's conference, and my God, the Spirit of God, it was so rich, I didn't want to go. But we're inside with Disciple D and DJ Steele. And guys, guess what? We have a little discussion today. We have some guests on the inside today. Especially for the men. So call up your father, your brother, your uncle, a friend, and let them know to come in and listen. We're going to speak today about mental health, right? Right, so in the meantime, we're just going to be pumping with a little bit more music. DJ Steele, I don't know why DJ Steele wasn't talking in there. DJ Steele just lead the thing, just so empty. Say something, partner. Hey.
Father.
DJ know the song that he had to play to get me into the mood and for me to get pumped up, right?
Bless me, don't stop. God bless me, don't stop.
Oh my God, it feels so good to be back right here with you on Hope 103.1 FM. It's going to be a wonderful time this afternoon.
Your grace I could never repay. You keep touching me again and again and again and again. You keep holding me again and again and again and again. Keep forgiving me again and again and again and again. Keep on blessing me again and again and again and again. Lord, you bless me non-stop, 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 non-stop. Your love is like the ocean. Your peace is like the ocean. It's only wave after wave, 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 non-stop, non-stop. Lord, you bless me non-stop. Didn't have to shed your blood for me, but you did it anyway. You saved me and Lord, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. But you bless me anyway. Your love is like the ocean. Your peace is like the ocean. It's only way after wave, wave 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 after wave. Don't stop, don't stop. Lord, you bless me, don't stop.
All right. No, that's what I'm talking about. It's Pump Saturday, so call somebody, message them, and tell them to come in.
The devil have a way that's been taking things that don't belong to him for too long. He's been stealing all the joy and the peace that is everlasting. So I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Yes, I take it back. Yes, I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. I take it back. The Prince of Peace shall put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You're going to mash up, mash up, mash up.
DJ, you know what to do. DJ know what to do, y'all.
Pull it up, pull it up. Never be sure. Never be sure. Christ are the Adonai. For too long, the devil have a way that's been taking things that don't belong to him for too long. He's been stealing all the joy and the peace that is everlasting. So I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Yes, I take it back. Yes, I went down to the enemy.
So our guests are already here. Well, one of them.
Back. The Prince of Peace.
So in the meantime, we just have a little praise party, DJ.
Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against.
You're listening to Hope 103.1 FM, and it's now 3 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock.
You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Lord, Father, deal with the authority. Let me make you understand it. The devil is a bandit. Come to steal and destroy everything that he can get. The day that I was conceived, my life became a target. You dirty devil, we fed up higher. Lord, you give me the power. Stand up firm like a tower. Holy Ghost that inside me, wet me down like a shower. Taking back what is mine, taking it back one time. Me armor ready, ready. Now well, I went down to the enemy's camp and I took it back. Yes, I took it back. Well, I went down to the enemy's camp and I took it back. Well, I take it back. The Prince of Peace shall put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Father, give me the authority. No longer will I be sad. I take back my joy. No longer will I be weak. I take back my strength. No longer will I be broke. I take back my money. No longer will I be better. I take back me honey. But Lord, you give me the power. Stand up firm like a tower. Holy Ghost that inside me, wet me down like a shower. Taking back what is mine. Taking it back one time. Me armor ready, ready. Now well, I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Well, I take it back. Yes, I went down to the enemy's camp and I take it back. Well, I take it back. The Prince of Peace shall put you under my feet. Christ is the Prince of Peace. Hey Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. You're going to get mash up, mash up, mash up. Father, give me the it doesn't matter when things get harder.
Don't lose the fire. Don't lose the fire. Hey, I'll invite somebody in the thing now. Those of you on that I know I don't like when that happened to me. On YouTube. Come on, invite somebody. Share it. Share it up. It's Pump Saturday with a little twist. Gotta keep the fire burning. Don't ever let it go out.
Come up higher. I'm making room for you. I don't know what more you can do, but that is fine. That is fine. You ignite my fire. Wherever you're blessing, where your spirit moving, wherever you're using, I can't let this moment pass me by. Wherever you're feeling, need a vessel willing, wherever you're speaking.
Anybody want the overflow? Anybody's willing to go deeper for the overflow?
Come a little close, and then come there with what I need to set my spirit free all over my soul. Come and take me over. Wherever you're blessing, where your spirit moving, wherever you're using, I can't let this moment pass me by. Wherever you're feeling, need a vessel willing, wherever you.
Don't you just always want to be in the presence of God? Wherever His presence is, you just want to be right there, yeah?
I can feel you calling me. Nothing quite like that feel, nothing quite like your heel.
afternoon, I just want us to be open, right? And ready. Because we're going to have a really good discussion this afternoon. Hey, I think it's the overflow from the conference I just came from. Yeah, just have me real stuttering way. Hey. Yes, guys, you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM. It is now 12 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. And we're inside there for maybe about an hour and a half again. So I want you to invite somebody, right? Because we're going to have a really important discussion. We're going to speak on mental health today. And we kind of want to focus more on the men, yeah?
They tell me that it's gonna be lovely. We're gonna see people from every country. From all over. They're gonna have drums and they're gonna have bass and they're gonna have keys and they're gonna have congas. And trumpets too. They tell me we're gonna have 6-part harmony. Cause it's me plus the angels, it's gonna be heavenly. The dancers will dance like we'll never see. Thinking about it makes me wanna scream. Praise and worship and nobody gets in between, yeah.
So tell me why I got to wait till I go up there.
When we can start the free party right down here.
And I can't help but prepare.
But people think I don't care. I cannot decide what I'm going to wear. But I can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to rave now. Make we start to wave. I can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to rave now. Make we start to wave. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Lift the praises.
Big him up, big him up, big him up, big him up.
Unto Jesus.
Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up.
Bring the praises.
Big him up, big him up, big him up, big him up.
Oh, 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 oh.
They say there'll be a rhythm section, boy. People from all over the Caribbean. Oh gosh, I hear in a hand. I sit around and still band. Imagine heaven choir. When the cultures come together, harmonizing hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. But tell me why I got to wait till I go up there.
We can start the free party right down here, yeah.
Man, I can't help but prepare.
What people think I don't care.
I cannot decide what I'm going to wear. But I can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to rave now. Make we start to wave. Can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to rave now. Make we start to wave.
Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up.
Lift the praises.
Big him up, big him up.
So I'm just here conversing with my DJ, yeah?
Lift it up, lift it up.
Did you say you missed me last week? Hold on.
Big him up, big him up, big him up, big him up.
Yes, I miss you too. I miss everybody. I miss being here, man. Yo.
A day of rejoicing that will be when we all see.
When you really love something and you have a passion, I mean, oh gosh, obviously you're going to miss that.
When we all get to heaven. What a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We'll sing and we'll shout. But to tell you the truth, I just can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to praise now. I can't wait till I get to heaven. Make we start to praise now. Make we start to praise now. 1, 2, 3, turn, let me go.
Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up.
Oh, all the praises.
Big him up, big him up, big him up, big him up.
Hey, here comes to Jesus.
Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up.
All the worship.
Big him up, big him up, big him up, big him up.
Oh, let me see you. Put your hand in the air.
Hand in the air.
Hand in the air. Let me see the flags in the air. Let me see the rags in the air.
Back in the air, boy. Back in the air, boy.
more than a feeling, more than the blessings, yeah. I want a new experience, strengthen my senses. Like a veteran, I wanna see mysteries. Draw me in closer, Lord, just like a chain reaction. When I give you devotion, yeah, you're taking me higher again. Father, I say, I'm ready, 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 ready. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Yahweh, Yahweh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Yahweh, Yahweh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Yahweh, Yahweh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wherever you are, I want to have an encounter. Wherever I go, I want to be there. I want to see you in all your glory. Encounter, encounter, encounter. Visit me again, again. Father, visit me again, again. That my life would change forever. Visit me again, again. Whatever you want to do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. What you there, what you do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Walelelele, walelelele, whatever you want to do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. It's the way that we walk, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. It's the way we feel, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Walelelele, walelelele, encounter, encounter.
So guys, we have one of our speakers right here now.
I know you're not sleeping.
So it's two things I should say. We're going to be speaking a little bit about mental health.
Me a response, yeah. I want to know all of.
And as I said earlier, we want to kind of focus in more on the men, because what the next speaker is going to speaking about is more skills training and so on for our young men.
Reaction when I give you devotion, yeah. You're taking me higher again.
Because we know that we have a lot of young men right now, they're just probably going through a lot and then they need our help.
Oh Yahweh, Yahweh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Yahweh, Yahweh.
So therefore we're going to be speaking a little bit about life skills training and so on, and ways that we can help the young men in our society today, right?
To have an encounter wherever I go, I want to be there. I want to see you in all your glory. Encounter, encounter, encounter. Visit me again, again. Father, visit me again, again. That my life would change forever. Visit me again, again. Whatever you want to do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. What you there, what you do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Walelelele, walelelele, whatever you want to do, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. It's the way that we walk, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. It's the way we feel, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Walelele.
You know, I just want to say a special afternoon to Hope family.
Encounter wherever you are.
You guys have been doing such a tremendous job, like literally a great job.
I want to be there. I want to see you.
And all the testimonies that are coming forth because of this.
Encounter.
It's not us, you know, it's God.
Visit me.
God is definitely doing something great right now in Hope 103.1 FM. Not so, DJ?
Would change forever. Visit me again.
DJ! Yes, the sacrifices and so on that each and every one of you make. Trust me, I really applaud you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's now 20 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock and you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM.
You just gotta hide it.
It's your girl Disciple D and DJ Steele on the inside.
There is no feeling
Pump Saturday
that he cannot fix.
with a little twist.
Try him like time and I know the work in me, and I will not hide it. I want the world to see it, cause I taste and tried it. The bacchanal can feel just like it. The waistline can satisfy it. Chop chop, not that exciting. Alcohol can make me leave it. Feel him, feel him, feel him in my soul. Feel him, since Jesus made me whole. Feel him, feel him in my soul. Feel him, since Jesus made me whole. How do you feel him? I met him at church one Sunday morning. That's when he started transforming. Was me and my brother. I said we walked unrooted our sins. We fell to the altar, accept Jesus as Savior. The difference you made in my life when you came my way. I'll never be the same. I will never go astray. I will trust in the Most High every night and day. Feel him, feel him, feel him in my soul. Feel him, since Jesus made me whole. Feel him, feel him, feel him in my soul. Feel him, since Jesus made me whole. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. Deep down in my soul.
So we're just going to take it down a little bit as we go into our discussion for today. Trust me, it's going to be a really good one, yeah? Our guest speakers are fully qualified, right? So you don't need to be afraid.
How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul. How do you feel him? How do you feel him? How do you feel him? Deep down in my soul.
Yeah. You wouldn't go drinking a bottle of poison expecting the next man to die. Cause you know that drinking a bottle of poison
We really want to touch on those little issues, guys, today.
wishing bad on someone else. The only damage in this
A little bit more focus on the young men of our society today, right?
little thing people do keeps on bothering you taking poison vitamins. Daily you don't
Because if you look around right now, you can definitely see what is happening with our young men, and we need to find a way to help.
eat it from within. It's time to let go of the sin and hold on to love. Hold on to God.
So if you know someone that is struggling a little bit and they need some type of help, just invite them. Share the link with them, right?
Expecting the next man to die.
Family member, anybody, just come in and just share the live
So why
on YouTube,
keep holding in hatred and wishing bad on someone else? The only damage in this
in Radio Land. Tell somebody about Hope 103.1 FM.
little thing people do keeps on bothering you taking poison vitamins. Daily your dosage get stronger. My brother, I say that's a poisonous life to live. Mindset to keep you like a slave. Malice will eat it from within. It's time to let go of the sin and hold on to love. Hold on to God, but don't hold no grudge. Hold on to love. Hold on to grace. Bad mind, jealousy have no place inside of us. Don't hold no grudge. Hold on to love. Say hold on to love, 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 love. Hold on to love. Say hold on to love, 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 love. Yeah, bad mind is a dead road. Some people don't let go. Hurt me, I go hurt you. God never teach you to live so. This world have broken people. We need a different approach. You gotta pray for wisdom. If fire fight fire, whole place burn down. No matter how they mistreat you, live for God and love people. Don't take on the bad people. Strive for love and not evil. Evil looking out here, my people. So stay awake, you can't sleep. If you close your eye, you can't see it. The royal lion white, so hold on to love. Hold on to God, but don't hold no grudge. Hold on to love. Hold on to grace. Bad mind, jealousy have no place inside of us. Don't hold no grudge. Say hold on to love. Yeah.
Kind of excited. It's like my mind just so focused on what we're going to speak about this afternoon. It's like I just want to really start the thing, you know?
Say hold on to love, 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 love.
Because just looking at the questions and so on that are here in front of me, it's like, oh my goodness, oh Lord, wow. We really want somebody to get the help that you're searching for today. As you can see, as you can hear, that Hope FM is not just about playing the music and sounding good over the airwaves, yeah? We want to bring hope to every person that hears us. Not in ourselves, but through the Holy Spirit. Because there's so many people, so many young men, so many young women are out there and they need some type of help. They need something to hold on to. They need hope.
Don't need no extinguisher, I'm flaming for you, Lord.
And we just want each and every one of you to know that there is hope. So don't give up and don't give in. There is hope, of course, in Christ Jesus.
Give me all the glory.
And we're just only here to share and to spread the good news with you.
And for everything that you do, I'm praise your name. Jehovah, you are my God and my owner. It's by your grace that I'm covered. Save gang to forever. Jehovah, you are my God and my owner. It's by your grace that I'm covered. Save gang to forever. Yeah. I'm feeling your fire burning my heart too. Don't need no extinguisher, I'm flaming for you, Lord. This kind of favor without no labor, You are my God, you are my everything. Lord, I give you all the glory. And I give you all the honor. And for everything that you do. Yeah, I'm praising honor. Way back, didn't know my life would be so beautiful. Didn't know my life would be so beautiful with you. But every year, Jesus, you've been there for me. And you did burn my heart with everything that you do. And I give you all the honor, yeah, for everything that you do, yeah, I'm praising.
Said I was signed, but now I see. Oh yeah. Said I was bound, but now I'm free. Oh yeah. Said you took the chains off of my feet, and you showed me life so differently. You took the shackles away. Imagine me being free, trusting you totally. I said imagine me being free, trusting you. Set the whole world is singing on Santa.
All right, guys, so we're going to get ready to get into it right now. It's 2:30. And of course, you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM.
Hosanna, singing hallelujah.
You're listening to Disciple D and DJ Steele.
Sing Hosanna, Hosanna, for what he's done, Hosanna.
One time for my logo, my 10 over 10. Jesus be my logo, can I hear in the man? Then I was found out free. Before I was blind, I was see. Bound I give you my praise. When you took all my shackles away. Imagine me being free.
So we're here with our first guest speaker this afternoon.
I said imagine me being free.
Very humble man, I must say.
Totally. Cause the whole world's singing Hosanna, and the people who lifting you higher. Yeah. And the whole world's singing Hosanna, and the people are here. Help me sing Hosanna, singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Everything goes on, Hosanna, for who you are, for who you are.
So guys, in studios today we have the Executive Director of Adult and Teen Challenge Grenada, and his name is Jude Hector. And today he's coming to speak to us a little bit, right, on some issues and programs and so on. It's going to be very enlightening, so don't want you to go anywhere. Good afternoon, Mr. Hector. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, it's such a pleasure to have you with us here today. That you took the time off to come to be with us on Hope FM, right? We know we have a lot to talk about today, and so if you want, you can just introduce yourself again and probably just say something nice about yourself.
Well, good afternoon, Desiree and Jason, and all the listeners at Hope 103.1 FM. It's really a good opportunity to be here with you all today, and just coming to share a little bit on what's happening with us at Adult and Teen Challenge Grenada and what some of the things that we're doing. So just a little bit about myself. I've been with this mission now for about 2 years. Just about a 2-year-old organization, launched on March 28, 2019. So still relatively young, but with a very, very big vision to reach, as our motto says, putting hope within reach, right? It's interesting that
wow,
Hope FM,
yeah, definitely.
Putting hope within reach.
I was blown away when I saw that.
Relocated at Good Hope, St. George's, St. Paul's, Grenada.
Look at that, Good Hope.
Good hope, hope everywhere.
Hey, there is hope.
Yeah, so really, really wonderful to be there.
Yes, I was totally blown away when I saw the motto, putting hope within reach. And this is just a confirmation to what we are doing right here, right now. It's just the appointed time and season for this radio station. So we give God thanks and we give God praise, for that. So we're going to go into it a little bit. And can you just let us know about what really Adult and Teen Challenge is all about?
Great. So Adult and Teen Challenge is actually, in Grenada here, we are affiliated with a global organization. In fact, it's just about 63 years old. It was started in 1958. And we operate in about 129 different countries, so in all the continents: Africa, Asia, Europe, South America. So it's a very well established organization, and really what we really are after is basically bringing hope and help to persons who are struggling with, we say, life controlling problems. So it could be anything: drugs, alcohol, gambling. So it's really enabling people to recover, enabling people to find, I guess, a new start. So there are two elements of the program that we deal with. One is preventative, so where we help people before they get into problems, right?
Right.
And then the other side would be intervention. So right now, most of the strategy we have, we've had some intervention program. In fact, we launched our first program at Richmond Hill Prison in 2019, July 2019.
Yeah,
we worked there for a number of months before COVID came, and we had to kind of halt the program there. But Right now, we're doing quite a bit of work with youth from our base located at Good Hope in St. Paul, St. George's.
Okay, great. So what are the ages for persons to be a part of the program?
Right, so I mean, adult, like the name says, it's adult and teen challenge. So really, we work with teenagers and adults, right? The particular program that we're running right now, which is funded by an organization called SKY, which is Skills for Youth Employment in the Caribbean.
Right.
They have an age limit of 15 to 30 for the program of training that we're doing right now. But apart from that, we really don't have an age limit. We would work with...
There's no age limit.
There's no
That's
age limit.
wonderful, because sometimes we have opportunities where you can take training and so on right now, but there's always an age limit, and then sometimes what we find is like the persons who are really interested in being a part of those programs, they cannot be a part of it because maybe they're too old and so on. And those who are within the age group, they don't really maximize on that opportunity. So I love the fact that it's just an open thing because everybody needs help.
Yeah. So it's openness, like I said, for our main program, but for the one we're running right now with Sky, there is an age limit for that one.
Oh, there's an age limit for Sky.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
It's really youth. It's basically a youth program, really. Ages 15 to 30.
15 to 30.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
And the thing is, we're fairly well advanced in the program already, right? So we started in March, and we're just about, I would say, 50-something, almost 60% through that particular program.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. So within the program now, what are some of the things that you will normally teach? What are the adults and youth and so on be learning?
Right, so it's actually it's a CVQ program, right? So it's a CVQ level 2 program. We have 3 areas that we are addressing right now: crop production, rabbit rearing, and beekeeping. So it's fairly much agricultural based, and really it's preparing them for either a career in that industry or to start their own business as beekeepers, as rabbit rearers, or doing crops. Okay. So all of the technical and let me show you if you understand the way CVQ works. It's really a skills-based program, right? Knowledge, skills, attitude. So all 3 areas. So it's the technical side in terms of the competencies, and then the character development side.
Right. So they go through a process of like in-house kind of work skills besides the practical aspect of it. They go through that kind of learning procedure as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, and it's 80% skills, as it were, and 20% classroom. So it's weighted on building core competency in the industry.
So the young men, most of the young men, right?
No, actually, we have a fairly good balance between men, women, and even some people with some level of disability, right? So again, part of the requirement is that we need to have a good gender balance, and also reach out to people who may have a little bit of a disability. So it's very balanced. Very balanced.
Okay. So I want to pull up some questions here, and so I want to forget my question. So based on the skills training and so on, what are the feedbacks from the participants themselves? Like what are the improvements that you maybe have seen, or probably they have improved some way in their lives? How is that? So
well,
far?
I mean, we've noticed changes with basically from the way they came in, and in terms of how interpersonal relationship, communication, attitude. Of course, not everybody will have made the same level of progress, but we have noticed some progress among a lot of students. In fact, our beekeeping class was featured by the government, the Ministry of Agriculture. They actually got a video done with them, which was posted for the World Bee Day. So we've seen some good results. I'm very, very keen. I'm telling you, very innovative, takes initiative, and so we've seen quite a bit of improvement, encouragement from. Many of them had no prior experience with the industry, but now, in fact, I remember one time I went to an area they were working and asking a few questions, and it was the students answering the questions, not the teacher.
No, that is good.
Good.
That is very good.
Absolutely good, right?
Yes.
It means they've learned well.
That is right. And of course, as a teacher, you want to know that your students are doing very well. So if they could jump in and answer all the questions, that means that you are as well doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So what have your experience been like for the past 2 years?
Wow, that's a very big question. I could tell in one word I would say challenging. But in spite of the challenges, really encouraging, right? So remember what we're doing here is breaking new grounds with this organization. We feel a gap in Grenada that is a very, I would say it's a gap that's evident. So for example, since 2004, when Hurricane Ivan destroyed Carlton Homes, we have not had a residential drug rehabilitation center in Grenada.
Right.
So our vision is to actually provide a residential drug rehab facility.
Right.
But not just that, we're integrating that on a farm.
Wow.
So in other words, when you join the program, it's divided into two parts. The first part we see as the induction phase, but we cannot work with core issues, right? What are some of the core challenges that people are repetitively getting into problems?
Right.
So for example, when you look at let's say the prison population, for example, many of the young men who go repeatedly through the system, there's a particular challenge that they face. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be different things, right? We need to get to the bottom of that, because if you can fix that problem, it means that you can then take them out of the system, right?
That's true.
So that's the first 4 months, and after that we go into the training phase, which is where now we get into things like the CVQ training to give them
just
a skill.
before you go into that phase, but how has that process been? Like, how difficult it was, or how easy it was dealing with them, knowing that they have the issues with probably the drugs and the alcohol and so on? How was that process for you, like dealing with these young men at that time?
The thing is, I mean, it's challenging. For example, people who would have learned a behavior or a habit over a long period of time, it takes a period of time for them to get out of it, right? And really what we, in the experience of Teen Challenge, and in our experience as well, when there is inner change, outer change is easy. Right? But unless there is an inner change and transformation, then externally it's a bit more of a challenge. So we've seen some good results from some of the men we've worked with at the prison.
Right.
Many of them have now been released and they're still out, right? Unfortunately, a couple of them went back, but and considering the program had not completed, right? So we've had some testimonials from some of them, the way it helps them to relate better with people, control the anger, because anger is a big problem.
I was going to that part.
Major problem, and many of them, because of I guess their own experiences with life, especially the relationship with their dads.
Right. So I was about to ask you, based on the interaction with them, what is like the main thing that causes them to reach to that point of wanting to use drugs and to just drink alcohol and so on? And I know as you're mentioning, the dad and so on. So just continue on that part.
Right. And it's interesting. I mean, my son just walked in, right?
Yeah. Guys, if you only know the good stuff about inside here right now, is a father and son kind of tag team thing that's going on right here. So that's good stuff, yeah.
Right. So I mean, the relationship with dads is I mean, or the lack thereof, right, causes a lot of men to one, be angry, two, don't have a sense of direction. Like having a very strong, positive male role model.
Right.
So which means that they learn, from guys maybe on the blocks, maybe hanging out. So some of them may have had maybe low levels of education. That's also a challenge.
Right.
I think a strong social and family network is also very important. Right. So many of them may not have. Some of them may, for example, be released from prison. They go back to the street. There isn't that very strong network as a safety net to keep them.
Exactly.
Right. So that also is a challenge.
So then that is why we have, you have the adult and teen challenge now. Even as they go through that process, and you guys are there to help them, to teach them a skill and so on, different ways that they can just control their anger and not to go back into that place where they came from, which is really good, and I truly admire that. Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Josh Hector.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you in.
It's good to be here. It was an adventure.
I know. Hope on the hill. Eh?
Yes.
But nevertheless, you are here. and we give God thanks for that, and then we're going to just continue going straight into it. Well, now it's two Hectors here, so Daddy Hector and Son Hector. Alright, so you have anything else that you want to share concerning the CVQ and the skills training? What I wanted to ask you though, with the skills training and so on, is it where it's located in Good Hope? Do you do the practicals right around that area, like the farming, all the rabbits and so on, keeping stuff is right there, or?
Right, so we have some of it there. So we have some hives that they will do the training on when they have some of the practical work to do. We have an area allocated for crop production. So in fact, right now the crop production class is getting ready to harvest the first set of lettuce and well, beets in a little while. We've planted some melons, some corn. So there is an area allocated for the crop.
So they're going to sell?
Sure.
Or they just...
No, because remember they've been trained to be business people, right? So they would harvest it, they would find the market, they would sell.
Wonderful. Check me, I love veggies.
Oh yeah, well certainly, we will definitely once it's ready, we'll check in with you, right? And then we have an area. In fact, we've just constructed a rabbit house that can hold about 500 rabbits.
Wow.
We've just started to populate it, right? And it's only a start. So to answer the question, yes, there is some facilities, but they will be exposed to larger farms as part of the practicum.
Right.
So we're going to be placing them
you
in
mean
larger
like
farms.
going to different farms and so on?
Yes, as part of the training means that they will be doing a practicum segment at I would say about 2 farms to give them the bigger exposure for that environment.
Okay. And I'm not sure if it did mention how long the life skills training going to be going on for.
Well, the entire program, rabbit rearing was 4 months, followed by 2 months practical. The beekeeping is 6 months, followed by 2 months practical. Crop production 8 months, followed by 2 months practical. So overall, we're looking at within a year we should be done. Life skills it has been integrated within the whole training program. Yeah.
So what happens after that? What are the young men going to be doing like after? I mean, I know at the end of the day, it's up to them. Then they get all the training, all the skills training and so on, and then they have to make a positive decision if they want to continue or not. But do you find like help or probably a farm, or you probably help them own piece of land so they can continue? What happens after the skills training?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, our commitment, and in fact, at a meeting with a beekeeping class, and we tell them that we develop a lifelong relationship with our students. So we become a resource center to help them through different things, right? The goal is 2 things could happen. One, either finding a job in the industry or to set up their own business. Our hope is to give each of them a starter kit. Right. When they leave, so that at least there's something that they can then use to build on, right? So things like mentorship, coaching, helping them with the business, maybe registration of the business, right? Connecting them with employers. I mean, organizations like GIDC has programs, so we can then connect them to that program. Maybe SIEP has some programs that we can connect them with. So we become like a resource center for them, help them with their job interviews, preparing for life and preparing for either work or preparing to do their own business. Okay. So that's our commitment to them. So it's not like just training.
And then let them go, you still have them there. I like that. So that is really important as well. You had mentioned before that some of the young men, some stayed and some end back up in prison and so on. Do you still communicate with them? Well, I know you said that you have launching the program in the prison as well. Do you still communicate with those young men? And when you do communicate with them, what are they saying? Like how they feel being back there and so on? What are their struggles?
Well, the thing is, because the prison is still fairly closed, I do, because of another project that we're running there, go there from time to time. I've seen a couple of them who they had not yet been released. So a couple of them are still there. I have not seen any of the ones who went back. Right. Again, because it's still a closed environment. But I'm sure there will be a lot of regrets, really.
Right. Of course, yeah.
But there is still hope.
That is
and
true.
We never give up.
That is right. Exactly.
Yesterday I met with the Minister of Agriculture and I was saying, listen, where there is life, there is hope. Amen. And that's why we're here.
Amen. Amen. Where there is life, there is hope. Guys, you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM, and we're inside with Disciple D and DJ Steele on Pump Saturday with a twist. And we have 2 guest speakers this afternoon. That's Jude Hector and Josh Hector, father and son. Oh God, so amazing. Right? So we're just going to take a short break and then we're going to come right back in. All right, so you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM, and we're inside the studios with Jude and Josh Hector. Mr. Jude Hector is the Executive Director of Adult and Teen Challenge Grenada, right? And we had a good little discussion earlier, and then we're going to go over to Mr. Josh in a little while. So, Pastor Hector, I can't help it. You know, it's Pastor Hector. It's like every time I go to say Jude Hector, it's like Pastor. Oh Lord. So is there anything that you want to share more, or any encouragement to the young men or even young women that are listening right now about the CVQ life skill training and just anything in general?
Yeah, I would say, embrace the opportunities for growth, for development, for change. Don't let your life be defined just by your circumstances. There is an alternative path, right? And I know it's difficult right now with all that's happening in the external environment.
Right.
But I just want to encourage youth and everyone in particular that now is the time to look up, right? Now is the time to recognize that there is help for us. But we of course have to apply ourselves to that help. So many opportunities are out there. Seize the moment. And make the most of the opportunity, right? Once you've given an opportunity to engage in a program, put your best, like we say in local terms, put your best foot forward.
That's right.
And be thankful, right? And embrace the change. And I think collectively, we can accomplish a lot.
Accomplish a lot together. Amen. And that is definitely hope in everything, right? There is hope, and that is why they are here to share, because at the end of the day, we all need some type of help, yeah? We all need some type of help. If you want to send in a question or anything like that, you want to ask a question, you can always, let me see what's going on YouTube. Also on WhatsApp, 403-1031. You can send in your question, anything you want to ask today, right? So, yes, the young one, Junior. Right, Josh Hector. Welcome again to Hope 103.1 FM.
Thank you.
All right, so can you just introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and so on for our listeners?
Wow, that question is always so tough. Because I do multiple things.
Right.
My name is Josh Hector. I am a full-time psychologist, running a private practice on Lower Lucas Street currently, called Optimal Solutions.
Optimal Solutions, and I'm sure some of you guys probably heard about this organization before, right? And today Josh is going to speak to us a little bit on mental health, right? Because of course he is qualified and versed in it, so I'm sure there's so many that he can enlighten us on today. So just for start off, just explain to us what is mental health.
Well, mental health, when we think of mental health, it is, let us call it a clean bill of mental functioning, which does not mean that there are no mental issues whatsoever. Similarly, we know that there are people who, for example, have diabetes or high blood pressure on the physical side of things, yet they are still functioning. So to be mentally healthy does not mean that there are no issues whatsoever. It simply means that you are functioning at a level that is, let's call it acceptable.
Right.
A level that allows you to carry out your tasks and even contribute to society, take care of your responsibilities, etc.
Okay, so just a little more into your business.
A little more.
No, like what I mean is like, why did you choose to? Why do you choose to? That's area to work in that field?
To be honest, I didn't choose it. I can't say that it was on my list of things to do. I would say that it chose me, because I was really doing business studies at first. I was very average, but when the switch was made to study psychology, and for reasons beyond my control, to be honest, but thankfully so. When that occurred, I moved from being an average student to on top of the class.
Wow.
And I found a passion for psychology, for mental health, and so I just went further with it from that point.
Wow, yeah, amazing. And being on top of the class, of course, as children of God, we got to be on top as well, right? Okay, so that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit more, like just take us into your journey of your proceedings every day and so on, dealing with persons, and like what when they come into you, what does be like the common thing, that stands out?
Well, interestingly, there's not necessarily a common thing per se between all the persons that come in. As a matter of fact, they are so individual in their own way,
right?
Which is why I have to approach everybody as just being unique. But I do see commonalities with issues in terms of like depression, anxiety, for example, grief.
Right.
But right now, to be honest, depression and anxiety, stress, high levels of stress, those are the things that I see most often right now.
Right. So within the COVID period and now and so on, did you find that that state increased?
Interestingly, most people would think the answer to that question would be yes, except because I've been practicing before the COVID period, I can tell that depression was on the rise for a long time.
Right.
And I don't see any significant change as it relates to COVID, to be very honest.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because I know a lot of people might be listening and probably wanting to hear, well, yes, it has increased because, people have committed suicide and so on during that point in time. But, it's good to know that there was no significant increase, within that time. But
more so due to just the difficulties, the challenges of life in general, with COVID-19 just being one of those challenges. Right. What I do note is that I remember growing up in a Grenada that was community oriented.
Right, that is true. Very true.
So for example, there was always a home, like the home where we grew up, for example, on Sundays the yard would be filled with people, and there was that level of togetherness.
Somebody always coming over.
Correct. And right now, as a society, we are far more isolated than we have ever been. And depression is an issue that it loves isolation.
Right.
So it's, like the same way a mushroom grows in darkness. People are depressed largely due to their challenges coupled with the isolation and not having a support system.
Right.
And that is, as I see it, that is a leading cause of the increase right now in the cases of depression.
Right. So just explain a little bit more for us about depression, like you said some of the leading causes of depression and so on, but what is the process of helping someone, a viewer, somebody might be listening right now and they want to know how they can get through the process, like get out of depression? How do you help that person?
Well, to be very honest, depression is the result of heightened stress that is unresolved. Right. And it also stems largely from the negative thoughts that people are thinking or entertaining.
Right. Yes.
And as scripture says, as a man thinketh in his heart, as a man believeth, so is he, right? And so there are a lot of people who don't realize it, but they think their way to depression.
Wow.
And so it really, to curb this, it's really about a renewal of the mind.
Right.
It's about now setting your mind on a path that's beneficial to your own well-being, because we are powerful as human beings. We were created to be creators ourselves, right? And so many people are actually, without knowing it, they are sabotaging themselves. Right? Granted, we know that life has its stressors, but because of our own perception and the way we may see things and even our imagination, sometimes we have a stressor that is this small and we maximize it. We amplify the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I always tell people that this battle, they fight it where it began. It really began in your mind. No, granted, there is a biological component as well, where there is an imbalance in the hormones that can actually negatively impact the mood.
Oh, really?
And that needs to be medicated. But you cannot medicate thoughts.
That's true, yeah.
Right? Medication could deal with the hormones, but when it comes to the thinking, a person literally has to reprogram their mind.
And one of the things that you mentioned too about the negative thoughts and so on, which is so important, because sometimes some people speak a lot of negative things over themselves.
Yes.
Maybe their parents speak negative stuff over their children, and it manifests, and then you see a child in this state and you don't understand why, them in that state, and they don't understand why, but it's because of all the negative things that has been said over their lives. And if they're not able to control the negative thoughts, as you were saying, then it manifests. Right, and then they just keep pondering and they're thinking about it. Well, I'm not good enough. I will never pass my exam. I will never be nothing good. I will always just be walking the road and them kind of thing. And then it's like they start to accept that is who they're going to become. And I think that is what you're saying. That they have to get. And so if they could find a way to turn those negative thoughts and to believe in themselves, then I think that's where the healing begins.
Yes, because
I need to go and study this thing. Right?
Especially with children, and which is why parents, guardians, adults in society, they really need to be a lot more protective of the young ones. Because as an adult, I may have the ability to filter what I hear.
Right.
And hear something negative that someone may say about me, and I just brush it off.
Yeah.
Children are sponges.
That is true.
So if you have a child being told over and over and over, you're no good, you're nobody, you're dumb, etc., once that is repeated enough, it takes root. That child believes it.
Yeah.
Despite their natural ability, they're not going to do well.
That is true.
And so we have to be, no, that child needs intervention. Sometimes, even as an adult, these messages follow people, right?
Oh, yes.
So I just want to put that out there, that the adults, and I'm saying beyond parents, adults in society, we need to be careful of the things that we say to the young ones.
That is so true, because my daughter is 4, and it's like, this child is so emotional. She's 4, and I have always taught her to speak good things about herself and people. Right? So, with your family circle and so on, everybody's not on the same level as you. So sometimes they go say, oh, your big head, your picky head, I moved there, them kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you had one day, now she run, mommy. She auntie tell me my head big. And she was like literally sad about the situation. And then I had to console her and talk to her. And remember, there's something I always have to say every morning. I am beautiful, I am bold, and I'm brave. I'm a child of God, and I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So it's like if they come now and they tell her them kind of thing, she just slap them with that right there. And it just boosts her confidence in herself and so on again. So it's very important, and this is, I can't stress on that, it's very important, the things that we speak over our lives and over our children's life. My God. Yeah, so let's see. I seem as if I run out of questions. So, just kind of let us in a bit more on your business. So, just before that, in terms of male and female, who you see coming in the most suffering from depression and other different cases and so on? Or is it a balance, or you have an average? Tell us.
Well, again, right? Most people may believe that for this, females are predominant.
Yeah.
Not necessarily so. I mean, to be honest, just reflecting on it, I would say that there is, I can't say a balance, because a balance would obviously mean equal number on either side, but definitely there's a steady flow of male and female clients who have these issues. Yeah.
So guys, there you hear it, and we are talking about mental health with Josh Hector. We're going to just take a little break and go into a little music just for a short while, and then we're going to come back right here again. You're listening to Hope 103.1 FM. It's your girl Disciple D and DJ Steele. Pump Saturday with a twist. So we're going to be right back.
I can't think of a time or a day or a minute that I don't go down on my knees and put Jesus in it. Sinful nature have me feeling so weak emotionally. Feels like I'm sinking, never to rise no more. Father, yesterday, today, forever. You never change, you never change, you never rearrange. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Without you in my life, what I go do, Lord, I go dead if I don't have you. Here comes Jesus to the rescue. Father, you never ever fail me yet. Lord, you never ever fail me yet. When I fall down to the ground, your love keep me safe and sound. You never ever fail me yet. No way, no way. You never ever fail me yet. You never ever fail me yet. You never ever fail me yet. You never ever. Personally, I give you the praises continually. Oh yeah. There's no other like you that could protect me from all the dirty voodoo. I'll go astray. You leave the 99 for me, and it's overwhelming. Yesterday, today, forever. You never change, you never change, you never rearrange. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Without you in my life, what I go do, Lord, I go dead if I don't have you. Here comes Jesus to the rescue. Father, you never ever fail me yet. Lord, you never ever fail me yet. When I fall down to the ground, your love keep me safe and sound. You never ever fail me yet.
So guys, of course, you're listening to Hope 103.1 FM. It's now 12 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock.
No, I'm so grateful. Got to give praises to the one who is able. Oh, hallelujah. No delay now. Drop that bass now. When you come for my case, my daddy no use me play now. I said no delay now. Me I want to praise now. When you come for my case, my daddy no use me play. He carry my matter for head. I've been there for my donkey, but then you pull me near. Yes, say my favorite baby, yeah. He carry my matter for head. I've been there for my donkey, but then you pull me near. Yeah, oh my favorite baby, yeah. Oh, halle, halle, daddy had to bring my halle. Oh, halle, halle, daddy had to bring my halle. Oh, halle, halle, daddy had to bring my halle. Oh, halle, halle, halle.
All right, guys, so we're back at it again. Today's discussion is on mental health. And in studios we have Jude Hector and Josh Hector, right? Don't forget, you can always send in a question if you have any questions to ask based on what we're speaking about right now. All right, so Mr. Hector and Mr. Hector.
Which one you call first?
I like that. Which one I'll call first?
Son first.
Right, so Josh, tell me a little bit more about your business and so on, and how long the business was established and so on, your organization.
Right, so the business was established in July of 2018, but I've been practicing beyond that.
Okay.
For just about the past 8 years or so.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And what we offer at Optimal Solutions is counseling, psychotherapy. I have recently also launched a teletherapy service where I can actually see clients via Zoom.
Good.
And as you know, I mean, based on the way things have been recently, that has been very useful as well. Also do workshops and training on a number of psychoeducational topics, life issues from conflict resolution, stress management, emotional intelligence, etc. And also do employee assistance programs as well.
Wow, that's good stuff, man.
So that organizations actually sponsor sessions for their employees. Yep.
So what about dealing with persons who are on drugs and so on?
Yes, so that fits into the counseling psychotherapy component of the business. So there is a range of services there. We have grief therapy, depression therapy, anxiety, substance abuse therapy, or addiction therapy rather, as it is called, couples therapy. Couples and family.
Kevin, I hope you're listening.
Right. So that component really covers a range of life issues as well. Adolescent, child and adolescent therapy. Because of course, you know, there was a time when people assumed that children were okay and they had everything to be happy about. But
that is true, eh?
But it is possible for children to be depressed.
I'm glad you said that, because my daughter again, there was this one time she's always bubbly and everything, and then it had a day she was just lying down on the bed. I was like, what happened? Mommy, I just feel sad. And I was like, why do you feel sad? Like, why? I don't know. I just feel sad. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So I started to pray with my child. Obviously, they don't know what to pray.
Yeah.
You know, so just kind of explain a little bit more, like the...
Well, truth be told, is that the range of emotions that adults experience, children also experience those emotions.
Okay.
Which means that they are also susceptible to mental disturbances, the same way adults are. So they are not immune because of their age, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So what it stems from, like, as a child, because, you know, some people might think, well, she's, as you were saying, you know, just because it's a child doesn't mean they go through them kind of thing. But if you have dealt with children before, what do you find?
Well, it varies, to be honest. For some children, there are specific issues at home.
Right.
Whether it be parental disagreements, even divorce. Divorce is a big thing that really puts children on the fringes, because they knew stability, and all of a sudden mommy is this way and daddy is that way. It's difficult for them to process that, and to be very honest, that challenge, if there is not intervention early, you'd realize that there are some adults right now in their 40s and they are still scarred by their parents' divorce when they were 9 or 10.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, there's just a range of issues that may cause a child to become depressed. We have bullying at school, which is a big deal right now. And especially
here in Grenada?
Here in Grenada, yes.
Wow.
I see children, and trust me, we have to talk to the school children as well, because they are
Wow.
children can be very mean, like very, very mean.
Yeah.
Right now, some of the things that I hear children are saying to each other, I'm not that old, but we never even used to say these type of things to each other.
I don't think
You know, on a serious note, so especially when you have a child who feels alienated at school and feels like they do not have an outlet, feels like they cannot go to somebody who would help, they suffer in silence, right? Then you have adolescence is a period where a lot of young people, they struggle with their identity, and personal image is a big deal.
Right.
Inferiority and self-esteem issues are so prevalent during adolescence. When this young person, they don't really know where they fall. Am I a man? Am I a boy? Am I a woman? Am I a girl? And the rapid change that is taking place during that period, physically and emotionally, mentally as well. It's a storm. And so minus guidance, you know, it can spiral out of control.
So what about, like, in the school? Do you do any type of programs within the school that will help, like, assist the schools and so on with children who they probably identify that has that type of issues and so on?
So for now, I have not really been, and of course, you know, schools have their guidance counselors, you know, so I've not ventured in. However, I have gotten calls that I respond to on that, but I will not be presumptuous. I notice they have the schools have guidance counselors. Yeah.
The Zoom meetings and so on, is it as effective as in person?
Yes, it is. I mean, and I have also seen clients outside of Grenada.
Okay.
For that reason, and you know, there are some clients in Grenada even now who feel like, you know, I just don't want to leave home. I'd rather just sit, you know, in my bedroom and have a session.
Wow.
Because it is real time, because it's not a video recording, and because we are having a conversation, although it is virtual, it actually does work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the couple therapy, like marriage therapy.
Well, as we know, there's not a single relationship that does not have issues.
No.
You know, some friends even need therapy, right? But so when it comes to couples, and we understand marriage and just how wonderful that union is, but just how sensitive it can be, and how ticklish it can be sometimes, particularly when there are differences in backgrounds, in attitudes, beliefs, likes or dislikes. These things often, if they are not managed well between either party, what happens is they end up in a gridlock. They can't move north, east, or south. They're just stuck in place. And so it really takes an objective bystander to, following a structured approach to help them resolve the issue. And typically, to be very honest, the bulk of the issues that I see affecting couples are tiny.
Right.
Tiny, and this may sound weird, but they are either tiny issues that are misunderstood,
right,
and amplified, or they are tiny issues that persist.
You want to give us an example?
Well, there may be something as simple as okay, let me give you a major example. A lot of people do not know how to communicate what they really want to say. So, for example, I want us to spend more time together may sound like you're never home.
Right.
No, you're never home is not what you want to say. I would like us to spend more time together is the message beneath that.
Right.
But the person you're speaking to only hears you're never home.
Yeah.
And that person also knows that is not true. Because if I were never home, you would never see me literally.
True.
Right? And so, in that way, people being unable to communicate or articulate what they really mean, and so they communicate, they make an emotional statement that deviates from reality, things like that. And now imagine every day coming home to you never home.
Oh Lord.
No, it's kind of strange to say coming home to you never home, right?
Yeah.
But imagine coming home to you are never home. Or imagine, for example, a situation where one person values neatness and it's not that big a deal for another.
Yeah.
Right? If you were to enter a space with somebody and you're staying there for one day and that person is not so tidy, you're fine. But if you are there every single day, then the problem just grows and gets bigger and gets bigger. And it's simple, but it persists. And so when people get fed up, they have a meltdown.
I think the trying to find a solution. It's a simple thing, but instead of maybe you just always just leave your glass right here, doesn't move with them kind of thing. What could happen is that they sit down and talk, all right, so I know you don't like to pick up after yourself really and truly, but let's just try, make a conscious effort to do something. But sometimes we tend to hold things inside and don't speak about it. It's like, oh, you're always leaving things there. That kind of. For me, I don't like to wash waste, period. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't like to wash waste. And in the beginning of my marriage, it was real difficult. Like, I don't like to wash waste. All my life, all my years as a child, I had to wash waste morning, noon, and night. No, I still have to come and wash waste. So it was becoming a bit of an issue. So I mean, I had to try. I had to make a difference. And okay, even if I don't like to wash waste, I'm going to do it anyways because it's not just one person's responsibility.
Compromise.
Yeah,
that's the word.
You have to compromise and work together because it's you and your spouse. It's not just you alone anymore. And it's for some it's just difficult for me in the beginning because I've been living by myself for all these years. And this man now have to come and share my space. Couldn't take the sharing my space thing, and I had to be able to humble myself. Thank God for my husband who helped me to be humble. Yes, very much. I always give him credit for that, and to be able to share my space, because it was difficult. Yeah. But I had to compromise. This is the side of the bed I want, But as you said, those simple things in Jude that is kind of really escalates.
Of course, and this is not to say that people don't have major issues, right? Because there are issues that are pretty significant, and it takes some work to navigate through and resolve these things. But for the most part, I see simple issues that are really and truly causing tremendous problems in relationships.
Right.
For the most part.
So what advice would you give persons who are married or get married couples, and in terms of dealing with just situations that simple, as you said, like how do you advise them to kind of deal with it before it actually escalates, and they probably might bottle things inside and then it just kind of explode and just cause a massive situation that shouldn't be.
There is, I wish I could scatter advice that would apply to everybody, but it won't work that way, except there are some fundamental things. For example, being able to be assertive, assert yourself, so you are expressing how you feel without complaining.
Right.
People tend to marry those two. They tend to believe that I have to complain in order to say how I felt about X or Y.
Right.
That is a big deal, because the moment you complain, whether or not a person is... Well, actually, when people are wrong, it is proven. We talk about wrong and strong. Well, even a person who is wrong will defend themselves if you come at them. Right?
Yeah.
And so, we need not attack each other, but we can express in a civil manner.
Married people, are you listening?
Right. We can express ourselves in a civil manner that does not sound like belittling or berating.
You like touching everything that I go through right now. Like seriously, like honestly, because for me, I was like very fiery kind of type, and I had anger issues because of my past and so on, with family and parents and so on and other relationships, and not being able, I didn't really deal with it properly before I get into marriage. So it's like everything came out, within marriage. I was like, God, sometimes I sit down and say, God, this man will leave me. Because of the anger, when I speak, it sounds so aggressive, and I don't really mean anything, but it's like, it's just coming out wrong, coming out so aggressive, so harsh, and it was kind of difficult to communicate.
Right.
So with my humble, sweet husband, he would just leave me, let me just make all the noise, and he'd just be quiet. And then afterwards, I used to feel so bad. I used to feel so old. I was like, God, I need help. And he actually, the good thing about it is that he was very straight and open with me with the way how I used to speak and so on. So that kind of helped me to just do some self-introspection and to calm myself down, think about what I want to say, before I actually say anything. And then our discussions and arguments and so on, they'll have to be, right now it's not fiery and them kind of thing, All the fire does be when I'm preaching. All right, so anything else you want to share? Because this is good stuff from the comments I'm seeing here on YouTube. Seriously.
No, as you mentioned, you sometimes, there are situations where one person may say, relax, and the person responds like, I'm relaxed, right?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're actually very hyped at the moment. So it is okay. Let me say this. It is okay to speak about some things a bit later on.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. It is okay to address certain issues later on. Because when we are heated, thinking and feeling are two different things, right?
Oh yes.
So when you are filled up, when emotions are high, you're not thinking straight. Your reasoning is impaired. And so it is okay to take a step back and relax before having a conversation. Because people often say during an argument, you're missing the point, you're not understanding, but of course not.
Yeah.
During an argument, I am more likely to miss the point and misunderstand.
That is true. Oh God.
Okay.
Thank God I changed.
So, and guess what? We can disagree without arguing.
That is true.
and these are things that people often consider one and the same, but you can disagree without arguing. And being able to, particularly at a time when you are not that emotional, sit down and logically look at the issues on the table,
right,
and talk them through with honesty,
right,
with acceptance of where I might be going wrong, right? Because, as I say, one hand can't clap.
True.
And so you seldom see a situation where one person is completely to blame. So we have to be able to be honest about what our contributions to the issue is,
right,
and work on resolving. And there's a horrible word, blame. Blame is a bad word, because I try this all the time, and I say to people, if I give you freedom to sit in front of me and blame each other, it is now 10 a.m., the sun is going to go down, and you will still be blaming.
Yeah.
And what is the benefit?
Yeah.
There is no benefit whatsoever. And the last thing I would say really is being right is not so much a big deal.
Oh, yes.
Winning an argument is not so much a big deal, because, well, simply put, if you win against your spouse, who do you beat?
Right.
Yourself.
Yeah, because you guys are one.
If you win against your spouse, you defeat your own self.
Wow.
So we ought to let go of the idea of the last say, or winning, saying or having a point that is superior. If our interest is the longevity of this relationship, winning doesn't matter.
Right. I love that, because, oh Lord, me again. I can only speak for myself, right? Because I have been there and I've been through it, and with the help of God as well. And oh gosh, I just have to always give my husband credit for this, because as you guys know him as well, he's very humble, and I had a same issue when we argue. Like, I want to have the final say, and I want to say the most hurtful thing before I end my conversation, and I didn't care. But it's like afterwards, you don't feel that sense of accomplishment. Well, you doesn't really feel, you still feel the same way. And then the thing is, it was kind of difficult to go and apologize and so on. And I think that's our next issue again in like couples. But I don't know how we reach on couples, but nevertheless, that's another issue again, like saying I'm sorry and apologizing genuinely and so on. So I really, really love this discussion, and I think we should have more of it. I know you guys' schedule are very busy, but we need to find time to continue on this discussion. But our time is running out, right? I think Sabi was asking, they probably didn't hear, but Sabi was asking, let me see if I can go back on it. Josh, what is your role in the business, in your business?
Well, I'm founder and psychologist.
Founder and psychologist. Sammy,
Yes.
You heard that? Right. So again, we just want to give thanks to Josh Hector and Jude Hector. Is there anything, Mr. Hector, Daddy Hector, you want to say before you leave? He was speaking about life skill training, working with the young men, even some young women as well, and they're based at Good Hope, right? And they have a lot to offer in beekeeping and rearing of rabbits and so on. So in a sense, it kind of goes hand in hand, guys, because we have the son here that deals with those issues with young people and adults and so on. And if he needs to send them to someone for a little help, to follow the skill training, he send them to daddy. Right? And then it works hand in hand. So, Mr. Hector, is there anything that you want to share more, maybe on the life skill training, any advice you want to give young people and so on, and young adults out there?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say finally, and it goes back to really having a strong spiritual foundation right now. I believe that that's really the bedrock for life. So as much as you can, I mean, I know many young people have either grown up in church, maybe Sunday school, but when you got to a particular age, you drifted. I think now's the time to head back.
Right.
Really, I would encourage every young person listening to me. There's a way that seems right.
Yeah.
But if it's not that godly way, it will it will end in destruction. So I would say, get back to your spiritual foundations that your mom and dad and your grandparents might have set. Trust their wisdom, right? They love you, they care for you. Many of your peers, they are not advanced and wise enough to really give you directions for life. So I'm saying, do that, and be around people who are positive, right? Listen to positive stuff. A lot of our young people are really corrupted by what they listen to.
Oh boy.
The music, the movies. We probably should talk about that. That's a whole new arena,
definitely.
Right? So the same way you feed your body, feed your mind, feed your spirit.
Wow, yeah.
Because we body, soul, and spirit, right? So young people, you're valuable. You have intrinsic worth. You're not defined by what anybody says or does, but you're defined by your creator. So embrace your creative value and let that define who you are. And again, we're in good hope. If you have a question, a concern, maybe we can help in a particular way. We may not be able to have everything, but we can at least connect you with somebody who can help. 435-2824 is our landline number. And sure, we right opposite the playing field in Good Hope, not hard to find. 2824. That'd be our office landline number. 410-4673 is our office mobile. And we really prepared to make a difference in Grenada, especially as it relates to providing drug prevention, drug rehabilitation services. So, and if you're out there and you have resources that you're willing to contribute to the organization, we're willing to accept. So rabbits, we if you have rabbits, you want to give us some rabbits for the rabbitry, we accept that. If you want to give us some bees for the hives, we accept that, right? Whatever you have that.
Even land.
Land is a really big thing, right? Or you may have some time. You might be, you have some time on your hands and you love working with young people. Please call us, right? We need counselors. We need people who can just do different things around the office. So there's a lot. And we're there all day, Monday to Friday, sometimes on Saturday and Sundays, right? So feel free, reach out to us. And we really thank you for listening today. It's been a wonderful experience just sharing with you today.
It's really good that you guys took the time out to come here. And guys, you are listening to the Executive Director of Adult and Teen Challenge Grenada. That's Mr. Jude Hector. And their motto is putting hope within reach. I just love this motto, it just ties into Hope FM, Yes, definitely. So thanks again, Mr. Hector, for joining us. And back to Junior. Right, anything that you want to say or share, because we definitely don't have enough time to speak, because this is we can cover a lot of things here under these different topics and so on. So anything you want to share? And of course, share your contact and everything too.
Okay. So the final thing I want to say is that people need to be careful to look after their mental health. Not only the physical, because you really do not beautify the outside of a car and do body work on a car and the engine is bad. I don't know anybody who has ever done that. We need to take care of the internal man as well.
Oh yes.
Because this is that element of us, that part of us really and truly runs the show. And so we need to be well internally, and then that is going to manifest in well-being externally. This is when others can look at us and say, wow, you look good, and your smile is so bright. There's something about you when you are settled internally that is radiant, right? That is captivating.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And so my encouragement is that people really and truly look after their mental health. Of course, do not neglect, I have to slip this in, do not neglect the spirit as well. That is of ultimate importance.
Yeah.
My number is 421-6159, and you can call or send a WhatsApp message if you need assistance in any way with any particular issue that you are faced at this time, and I will offer counseling and or psychotherapy.
Just say again where your business is located.
Lower Lucas Street.
Lower Lucas Street, right? And that's
Optimal Solutions.
Optimal Solutions. And that is Josh Hector himself. Guys, thank you once again. One of the things that Pastor Hector mentioned is about your relationship with God, in a sense. It's very important. that in everything that we do, we cannot live without the Spirit of God. We cannot do anything without God. Any type of help we need, we have those who are qualified and so on to help us, but the Spirit of God is the one that actually makes the difference as well, and we need to come to that place where we can really rely on the Spirit of God to help us through different situations in our lives. Like for me, example, again, I had so much to deal with and so on, and it's only the Spirit of God that is why I'm here today. I wasn't this person who could I just openly speak, so brave and bold. I had few things to say, and it used to be so hard for me to say what I really wanted to say. It's like I didn't know how to formulate my words and so on, but it's only the grace of God, yes? So I give God thanks for that. So thanks again, Jude, Hector, and Josh. Hector,
welcome.
We hope to see you guys again, and I don't know, the schedule is very busy, but I'll be checking up.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to have a really good discussion. Guys, maybe you can give us some suggestions on what you would like to hear the next time they are back, right? So thanks once again for coming to Hope 103.1 FM.
Thank you.
All right.
Hope 103.1 FM.
So this what you gonna do for me? When you hear me on the radio, I'm gonna run out the house and jump on the fence and climb up the tree and up on the roof and wave. We grateful for life, yeah. I'm gonna put on your best and don't wash your face to shake up the stress, shake up the place and burst. Make we come alive and behave like we in the city. We jumping like we in the city. We waving like we in the city. Praising like we in the city. We dancing like we in the city. Singing like we in the city. We winning like we in the city. Don't you know
goodness, this was a definite packed session. I loved it. I enjoy every moment. And we're about to wrap up, guys, because it's like a few minutes to 4. Overstayed our time. All those of you on YouTube, we thank you so much for joining us, guys. And they're going to definitely be back. We was just having a little discussion and so on, and we realized that, you know, we need to hear more of these things because so much of us dealing with situations and so on, our family and as well, and we need to get educated with what's happening and how to deal with stuff in our home, right? And just expect anything on Palm Saturday, right? Because I just go according to how I feel in my spirit and what God wants the people to hear and so on. So just expect anything. You wouldn't always just be Saturday, come, jump and wave and then kind of thing, you know? So I just want to big up a few person right here on YouTube. Alicia Baptiste, Akaden Samuel, Ruth Andrew, Grace Divine, Sabi himself, yeah? Lady Sabi, Linnell. Good afternoon to everyone. Dwayne, I see you. And of course, Mr. Zach Forsyth himself, Sasha Alexander.
Can you see the promise?
Mommy Tammy.
I can see the promised land. Can you see the promised victory ahead? All eyes with me, I see the victory ahead now. The things that you have for me, the plans what you have for me, all the blessings you have for me. I'm walking in victory. So when the trumpet blows, Father, take me to the sky. Oh yeah, Lord, I'm ready, ready. Hallelujah. Lord, I'm ready, ready. Hallelujah. Over the. I can see the promised land. Over the. I can see the promise. Hold on a little longer. My Jesus is coming. My Jesus is coming back for you and I. Step up, get ready, ready. Wake up, be ready, ready. Get your heart in order. Time is getting shorter. Boy, will you be caught up in the air to meet the Lord in the sky? So when the trumpet blows, Father, take me to the sky. Oh yeah, Lord, I'm ready, ready. Hallelujah. Lord, I'm ready, ready. Hallelujah. Over the. I can see the promised land. Over the. Somebody say.
All right, so it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes until the hour of 4 o'clock, and we need to get out here. Out of here, because you know why? I already see the face of the next one who's going to be coming in.
See your hand up in the air, put your flag flying in the air, lift the praises high up in the air.
So it was definitely a pleasure being here with you this afternoon on Hope 103.1 FM. It's Palm Saturday with your girl Disciple D and DJ Steele.
Coming together, the spirit is taking over. Don't need no liquors to get too high. Just a drink from the water of life. I feel it to get so high. I feel it like I need night. Hey, his spirit is moving over me. We need more prayer in the country. More prayer is what we need. More prayer for your family. Hey, just a little more. soul. It's Jesus that we need in this country that I bring. And
Guys, it was definitely a good time here in Hope 103.1 FM studios. We're about to take our departure. Mr. Steele. The intro and the outro. Y'all know when y'all hear that song, you know it's definitely time for Pump Saturday, right? Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m.